Thank you to Agile Testing Alliance for giving us this platform to speak about non-functional testing of chatbots. So these are the basic topics that we will be going through during our session. So first, starting with conversational AI overview. So chatbot or conversational AI is the latest buzzword in the industry, which generally uses voice as the mode of interaction. There are other mode of interaction as well, but predominantly it uses voice. So chatbot helps in reducing operational effort by automating repetitive tasks. And as we can see, what are the importance or what are the factors that make it very important in today's world is it is intelligent as it uses AI ML to learn from past interactions, and over due course of time it has human-like interactions. As it is automated, it helps in reducing human-prone errors. Mostly, it has zero UI and as such has low maintenance cost. Now, speaking about the risk areas in the chatbot world. So when we speak about chatbot, it is important that it meets the non-functional requirement SLAs. So to meet that, the factors that comes into place are the user informations. The information should be quickly provided to the end users. The infrastructure should be scalable enough to meet the requirements, and it should be available 24/7. Now, when we moving to the next slide, when we speak about the evaluation area, as we can see, there are 7 layers in a chatbot, and all these 7 layers, we are not able to test all the 7 layers because these chatbots are generally hosted in a proprietary platform. So we have segregated it as to where we can test it. So if we speak about the client or UI layer, we can have a single user client side performance or device level analysis. And we used an automated test framework, which the automation team had developed to get an end-to-end response time for a single user. Apart from this, we can have at the integration layer, we have the API testing. We can do the API testing and have the server performance evaluated. Moving to the next slide is the performance testing approach. So basically, we can do performance testing for the chatbots for a single user as well as concurrent user. When we say about single user performance testing, we generally mean the client side performance for a single users. So the metrics that we can capture is accuracy, precision, and recall. And when we come to the concurrent users, we can test the APIs using the load generators to generate load on the APIs and measure the metrics, server-side metrics. Now I'd like to hand it over to Gautam for the next slide.
Yeah, thank you, Avik, and good afternoon to everyone. I would first like to thank GTR for giving us this platform to discuss and present our ideas about the non-functional testing of chatbot arena. So Avik, can you just go to the next slide? Yeah, okay. So, during the course of our project work and, the activity that we were doing for our testing, we came across several other use cases where we can use chatbots, like in the non-functional testing arena. So for starters, we can use it for root cause analysis, workload modeling, security analysis, sending out email alerts when the tests are complete, which will have the details of the entire, the number of users, the number of errors, the number of past transaction information like that. Additionally, we can configure, since chatbots use AI and ML, we can configure them for intelligent analysis. For example, we can ask them to look at specific issues and errors in the log. Let's say if you have executed a test and these tests have been run across several servers. So in order to understand an issue, you will have to go through voluminous amount of data. So we can actually configure chatbots to make sure that they look for specific issues that we want them to look. Then we can use it for NFR analysis. And additionally, given the diverse amount of technologies that we currently come across in our testing arena, it can be a very useful tool for identifying which particular performance testing tool can be used for that particular architecture and an application. Avik, to the next slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So during the course of our, with our work with chatbots, we identified and came across certain challenges. The first and foremost challenge, as what Avik mentioned, is that all these chatbots are generally available on the proprietary platforms. So when they are proprietary, it is difficult for us to do a full or a heavy duty load testing on them, because these proprietary, for example, the APIs of the NLP layer, they are not available to everybody. So in case you want to do a load testing, you will have to get those APIs, and they come with a particular user cost. So in order to do a full-fledged load testing of, let's say, 100 or 200 user, you will have to buy these, and they can come at a cost, right? Then the problem with chatbot is, see, because it is learning, it is evolving, so you could have one single input getting different outputs. So in that case, it becomes extremely difficult to understand exactly what the problem was. Was it a problem with the question, or was it the chatbot couldn't understand it? So yeah, that's an initial problem. Secondly, an accent problem can arise, because if you are looking at a very diverse crowd who will be using your application, it's quite possible that chatbots might not be able to understand or differentiate between accents, right? And like I mentioned, it is always learning, so it can never be 100% accurate in the first iteration itself. It takes approximately a couple of iterations, maybe 10, 15 iterations, after which we'll start getting more reliable results. Another very big problem that we see for chatbot testing is, because for understanding the application, you will have to actually peruse through a lot of logs and a lot of information, right? So they can be real big. It could be running into couples, hundreds and thousands of pages of logs, right? So it's very difficult humanly to actually go through the logs and then design design your application or design the chatbot to to read the logs and work in accordingly. So you need somebody with a data science experience. So you need essentially a performance testing and engineer plus a data science to who will actually design models basing on which these chatbots are supposed to work. Next slide, please, Avik.
Yes.
So yeah, so just to conclude, chatbots are becoming the next big thing in different industries. And as for the perspective of performance testing, we should adopt and learn how to test chatbots effectively, because that is going to be the next big differentiator which we can show from the testing perspective. Additionally, like I mentioned, they have widespread application. We can also use and leverage it in our own testing to make our jobs pretty easier. So that's all from our end.
Thank you, Avik and Gautam, for